This is the verb decir, which means to say or to tell, and we're going to go over it in the present tense. Now don't get confused with decir and hablar. Decir is to say or to tell, and hablar is to speak or to talk. How are we going to remember decir is to say or to tell? Visualize your grandma's in the hospital, maybe God forbid, maybe she had her hip replaced, and you bring her some flowers and chocolate. She says, honey, why did you bring me flowers and chocolate? And you say, decir present is to say I love you, or decir present is to tell you I love you. Decir is to say or to tell. Okay? I'm going to say each form of the verb in English, Spanish, and clap, and I'd like you to repeat. Okay? I say, yo digo. I say, yo digo. You friend tell, tú dices. You friend tell, tú dices. He says, él dice. He says, él dice. We tell, nosotros decimos. We tell, nosotros decimos. They tell, ellos dicen. They tell, ellos dicen. Now, these green letters are regular. It's an IR verb, so as expected, we chop off the IR and add O, ES, E, IMOS, EN. Notice if it's an IR verb, the we form is IMOS. If it's an ER verb, the E form is EMOS. If it's an AR verb, the we form is AMOS. We keep our letter. But this is tricky. This is a boot verb. Notice, this is kind of a boot. This is the top of the boot, the heel, and the toe. Okay, sort of a boot verb or a stem chaining verb. This E turns into I. What's the only form of decir where the E does not turn into I? The we form. Everybody listen and repeat. We keep our letter. We keep our letter. Notice it's an IR verb, so the we form ends in IMOS. And it's we keep our letter. The we form does not change. So really you could say we keep our letters. Now not only is it a boot verb, it's also a G verb, okay? Now what's the only form of decir that has a G in it? The yo form. It's like tener turned into tengo, poner turned into pongo, hacer turned into hago. The only form of a G verb like tener, decir, venir, that changes the yo form, okay? So this is doubly irregular. It's a boot verb where the E turns into I, and it's a G verb. Now I want you to notice, since it's an IR verb, the E turns into I. 95% of the time. If it's an IR verb, the E turns into I. Remember, there are other verbs like perder where the E turns into IE. But we'll talk about that later. Decir, to say or to tell in the present tense.